guys, welcome to week 2 of our 10-week Postpartum Pilates program. We are going to add a few new exercises into today's moves. Let's get started. We're going to start by laying down on our back. We're going to find your neutral spine. So we've got that little gap under your lower back, tailbone slightly imprinted, back of your head's heavy, shoulders are heavy. We're going to place our arms just outside of our mat today, so a little bit wider. And then let's bring our feet together to start off with, letting our knees and our ankles touch. Okay, we're going to start with a bent knee opening. So with an exhale, let's drop our left knee off to the side, going as low as you can without the rest of your body moving. Inhale as we draw that leg back to start, and then exhale as we come over to the other side. So our goal here is to keep that pelvis nice and sturdy as we go from side to side here. Imagine you've got a little sandbag laying across your pelvis, or you can place your fingers on your hips to anchor yourself down. Okay, let's start to think about that pelvic floor as we drop that left knee off to the side. We're going to use that pelvic floor, engage those muscles to draw that leg back to its starting position. Let's swap sides, let everything relax as you lower down. Fire everything up as you bring it back in. Let's do 2 more on each side. It's a good little hip disassociation move. And then one last one each way. Awesome. Let's bring those knees and ankles together again. We're going to glue them together now, and we're going to come into a little regression of a move that we're going to do in a few weeks called side to side. So let's take both legs over to the left as low as we can without that right shoulder picking up. And then inhale as we come through center, and exhale as we swap sides. So keeping those knees glued, it's almost like you're reaching through that top leg as you come on over. Your opposite foot should pick up off the ground, depending on what side you go on. Let's do 1 more each way. And then come on back to center. Let's just place those feet hip distance apart again. Anchor them down. We're going to come into some chest lifts now. So let's interlace our fingers. Place your head heavy in your hands. Elbows nice and wide. We should just be able to see them in our peripheral vision. And with a big exhale, let's bring your head, neck and shoulders up into your chest lift. Inhale as we lower back down. So we're just starting to fire up those core muscles a little bit deeper. We want that bottom rib heading towards your hips as you come on up. And we're trying to keep that spine in its neutral position. So if you have your fingers in that lower part of your back, you shouldn't be pressing into them as you come on up. Let's do 6 more. You can take your time with these. Last 4. 2 to go. And then one last one. Lovely. We're going to lay back down. Okay, we're coming into a little supine arm series now. So let's start with those arms by your side. Feet are nicely anchored. We've got that lovely neutral spine. And with an exhale, we're going to reach those hands up to the sky. Let's bring them over your head now, as low as you can lower them without your ribs flaring. Once you get as low as you can, take a big deep breath in here. Push the back of your ribs into the mat. And then big exhale as we close down by your side. Good work. Let's go again, up and over. Big breath in. And closing on up. So I like to use this little exercise as a bit of a sneaky pelvic floor exercise as well. So let's add that in with our breath. We're going to bring our arms up and over your head. Take that breath in. And as you exhale, fire up your pelvic floor, draw your hip bones towards each other. Lift it up nice and high as you close those arms down by your side. Let everything relax, and then let's go again. Up and over. Big breath in at the top. See if you can get a bit lower each time you lift those arms, and then close on up. Engage that pelvic floor. Let's do 2 more. And one last one. Perfect. Okay, let's come into some nice slow bridging now that we've got those pelvic floor muscles working. Let's continue that. We're going to tilt your pelvis towards your belly button. Engage your pelvic floor. Let's peel ourselves up into our bridge. Knees reaching over your toes. We'll have a breath in here and then come back down 1 vertebrae at a time. Nice and slow. Take a breath in at the bottom. Let's go again with a big exhale. Peel on up. Give those glutes a good squeeze at the top. Roll back down. We've got 8 more. 7. 6 to go. See if you can get that straight line between your knees and your shoulders each time you come up. You don't need to rush these. Perfect. We've got 4 left. See if you can keep your weight even through both feet as you come on up and roll back down. Last 3. 2. And then one last one for good luck. Coming back down. Okay, let's add our arms into those. We're only going to do 6 of these. Let's reach those arms up to the ceiling. Make sure those shoulders stay nice and heavy on the mat. Okay, let's peel ourselves up into that bridge. Once we get to the top, reach those arms overhead. Draw those fingers back up to the ceiling. Roll back down. Let's do 5 more of those, peeling up. Big reach. Hands go back up. Roll back down. Last 4. We have 2 left. And then one last one. And come on back down, nice and slow. Good work. Okay, let's roll over onto our left side now. We're going to straighten our legs out nice and long on the mat today, and let's extend our arm over our head just to have a little nice cushion here. Okay, make sure your hips are stacked nicely. We want to push that top hip away so it feels like your waist picks up off the ground. Now, if you're new to Pilates, you're welcome to place that hand under your waist just to keep that spine in its ideal alignment. If not, we're going to place that hand in front of our belly button if you feel like you're confident enough to keep that position. Okay, let's point our toes. You can have your feet slightly in front of you just so that you can see your toes if you look down. And let's start to lift and lower that leg. We want to lift as high as we can without that hip moving. So let's do 8 more of these. Last 6. 4 to go. 3, 2, and then last one, we're going to lift that leg up, but we're just coming down hip height. We're going to flex our foot, swing that leg forward, point your toes, send it back. So we're just finding your own range of motion here. Again, we don't want that waist dropping. We don't want those hips losing that nice stack. Let's go for 4 more. Last 3. 2. And then one last one each way. We're going to bring that leg back so it's just hovering above your bottom leg. Keep your toe pointed. Let's draw 5 circles with our big toe in the sky. And let's reverse 5 big circles the other way. And then bring that leg down. You can give your bottom a little thank you pat if it's getting a bit of a burn on. And then let's bend our knees. We're going to place our feet in line with our bottom. Just bend that bottom arm just to create a nice little pillow here. we're going to do some nice big book opening circles as our stretch today. So let's take our top hand out in line with our shoulder. We're going to start to trace up and over our head, just hovering our fingers above the floor. Once we get in line with our ear, we're going to start to twist back. We want to look at that hand while we're halfway around our circle. Keep your hips shining forward. You can have a quick pause when we're halfway around that circle, and then slowly close on up as you stack those shoulders back on top of each other. Good work. Let's do 2 more. Big circle up and over. Reach those fingers away from your body. Quick pause. And close on up. Let's do one last one. We're going to start with an exhale. Take a breath in while we pause. And exhale to finish off. Good work. Okay, let's break dance ourselves over to the other side. I'm going to start with those legs long. We're resting our head on our arm. Hips are stacked nicely. That waist is lifted up off the ground. Hand in front of your belly button. Point those toes and let's lift and lower. We've got 10 of these. Last 6. 4 to go. 3, 2. Last one. We're going to lift and then we're just coming down hip height. Flex that foot, swing it forward, point that toe, send it back. Let's go for 9 and 8. Last 6. 4 left. 3, 2. One last one. Let's bring that leg back so it's just hovering over that bottom leg. Point your toes. We've got those 5 circles one way. Totally okay if they turn into squiggles. And 5 the other way. And relax that leg down. Thank that bottom. We'll bend those knees in. Just bend that elbow. Top hand goes out in front of us. Okay, let's start that nice big circle with an exhale. Twist back. Can we have a look at that hand behind our back? Plants are getting in the way again. And close on up. 2 more. And one last one. Closing on up. Awesome, we're going to push ourselves up onto all 4s now. Now I'm still recovering from that knee surgery, so I've got my handy little pad here. I'm just going to place under my left knee. Okay, let's bring our wrists under our shoulders. Knees under your hips. And let's do a couple of cats and cows just to find that neutral spine. So big exhale as you curve your spine, tuck your tailbone in between your legs. Send your belly button to the sky, and then with that next exhale, untuck that tailbone. Belly button comes down, gaze comes up. Let's just do 2 more each way. Use your exhale to really exaggerate each move. Last one. And then come halfway between each move. We'll find that lovely straight spine, and we're going to imagine we've got a little fire under our belly button. So let's keep that core engaged so it doesn't get burnt. And we're going to work with our left hand and our right leg first today. So let's glide those fingers and toes nice and long on the mat. Checking that those hips stay square to the ground, and we're going to lift and tap. We don't want that lower back to arch as we lift. Let's go for 7. Last 6. How far can you reach those fingers and toes away from your body as you lift? Last 3. 2. Last 1. Let's pick those fingers and toes up. We're going to hold them up in the air here. Can we do some little tiny pulses? Let's go for 8, 7, 6, 5. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're going to keep our fingers and toes lifted. Can we rotate our hand and our leg out to the side? Bring it back in. Let's just do that 2 more times. A little bit of a balance challenge here for you. Last one. Awesome. Bring our hand and our knee back in. Now we're just going to have a quick little stretch before we move on to the next side. So we're going to take our right leg just out to the side and place your foot on the ground. Let's take our left hand behind our head, and you can start by pointing your elbow to the ground. And then with a big exhale, let's come on up. Have a lovely stretch here. And lower back down. Good work. Let's bring that hand and knee back in. Anchor them under your shoulder and your knee. And let's work that right hand and left leg. So we're going to glide them nice and long on the mat. Ooh, my knee pad's sticking to me. Point your fingers and toes. Let's lift and tap. Let's go for 9 and 8. Last 6. 4 to go. 3, 2. Last one, let's pick those fingers and toes up. We've got those little tiny pulses. Let's go for 8. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keep them lifted. Can we rotate to the side? Come on back in. We only have 2 more of those. Last one. Awesome. Bring everything back to your starting position. Then we'll take that left leg out to the side. Take that right hand to your forehead. And let's stretch. Open that elbow up to the sky. And come on back down. Place your hand down on the mat. Bring that leg back in. Let's sit ourselves back into a child's pose quickly. Now, I can't get my bottom too close to my feet at the moment, but you guys should be able to get nice and close. Okay, we're coming back up onto all fours. I've just moved my camera so you can get a better image of me coming up to standing. But let's flex your feet, place your toes on the mat, pike your bottom up to the sky, and let's do a little bit of walking on the spot here, just lowering one heel at a time. Get a quick stretch in those calf muscles, down the back of your legs. And then soften your knees slightly. Let's walk your hands towards your feet. Place your heels down on the ground very lightly, and then we're going to slowly tuck your tailbone in between your legs and stack your spine up one vertebrae at a time, bringing your shoulders, your neck, and your head up last. Just roll those shoulders back at the top, and we'll interlace your fingers behind your back. Send your arms away from your body, and give your head 2 big circles around your neck one way and 2 the other way. And we are all done, guys. Thanks for joining me on the mat again. I'll see you next time.